My daughter, when we were learning to ride bikes, we're still in the process of learning to ride bikes. I'll be riding my scooter next to her, and she's like, Daddy, I'm almost doing it. Daddy, I'm almost doing it. And in the process, I'm thinking, almost doing what? You're riding your bike. What other processes, what other challenges, what other things do you need to overcome to feel like you are riding a bike? And that's you and I as human beings. We are riding the waves of life. We are seeing the ups. We're doing the best with the downs that we possibly can. And we think that we are just almost doing the life thing. We're almost there. But you are doing life. You are moving forward. You are doing the absolute best that you can with the thinking and the conditioning that looks real to you. So the moment that there is a crack, how do we get that crack? Truth. How do we get truth? Getting a good feeling. We hear something that is true. Not true for me, not true for you, but that is true. And when we get in that good feeling, we feel like we are at home, inside of ourselves. And that feeling of being at home inside of ourselves can guide you. It will guide you exactly where you need to go in exactly the time frame that you need to be there, not a moment before. Welcome back into Climbing the Summit podcast, where the ultimate summit is self-discovery, self-realization. I am your host, Danny Cobbin. I love personal development. I love going on the climb of trying to figure out what it is about us as human beings that we can actually do to move in the direction of our hopes, dreams, and goals. And I was reading the Kleshas, which is something that we find in the Yoga Sutras. I'm actually holding a course on the Yoga Sutras here pretty soon. It's a discovery session of sorts. If you want to know more about that information, just send that over to me at dannycobbin@gmail.com. And I'll give you that information. But what was important, what I was finding that would be important to you is a video, which is the first of the kleshas, which are these sheaths that keeps us from knowing who we truly are. And the first one is ignorance of self. And I kind of took that like personally because I was like, I know who I am. And then I got to thinking about how for the last 4 years, me and my homeboy Jason Deppin, who also has a podcast you guys should check out, we've been talking about how it is that we truly can come alive to this thing we call life. Is it more happiness? Is it more joy? What is the thing that truly makes the difference? And a topic that we came across was conditioning. And anytime I talk about conditioning, I automatically assume somebody else already knows that we're talking about kind of the mind stuff, the stuff that goes on in the mind. But conditioning is deeper than that. Conditioning is as deep as if you remember being a child, or if you've seen a baby, or if you know a baby, or if you just had a baby, any of those. If you have ever stepped foot in the world and seen a baby, you will understand this concept. And that is when you first come out of the womb, it's 3-6 months before you can even remotely communicate your wants, needs, and desires. And in that 6 months or so, you are creating a model of the world. How do I get things that I want? How do I notify people if I need something? And it's not until we're 3, 4, 5 years old that we even can begin to say, yes, no, I like this, I don't like that. And it's not until 18, 19 that we then actually get the opportunity to step away from the conditioning that we learned as a child, and we start to get to build our own, right? And from 18 to, for me, it was 28 years old or so, I was building this model of reality based on what I thought was right. And I'm sure you do the same. And then I was 32 years old and I started to see, oh, that's why my parents did things the way that they did. Oh, that's why things work the way that they work. And so now I get the opportunity to unlearn some of the conditioning that I learned unknowingly. Right? When I was 12, I didn't necessarily know that I was building these habits of thought, these habits and patterns. And it wasn't until I'm 39 years, I'll be 40 years old this month, that I started to unlearn some of these things, to see like, oh, that's my conditioning. Here's an opportunity to jump off the train track of thought and to move in a direction that I actually want to go. So when I say that the most important thing is to begin to know who you are, to be you, I don't mean you need to go out and I'm myself. I'm proud and I'm confident, and that's not what I mean. And I don't mean that, oh, I'm just humble and I'm just being myself. I mean, go out and find out the things that you actually like to do, the things you actually enjoy. And on that process of finding out the things that you like, you enjoy, the things that bring you energy, the things that you're willing to spend hours and hours on, even though it doesn't have some sort of external benefit. As you begin to see those things, life starts to show up differently, because you're doing the thing you want to do, not the things someone else told you you should do. Back in the day, when somebody wanted to know something, they had to do the thing to find out what that was. Now we can go on Google, we can type it into ChatGPT, it'll give us an answer on what it is. So we have this like conceptual knowledge of what something is, what the journey would take. But I'm asking you on this podcast to not take my word for it, not to go look at the glaciers or the yoga sutras, which are super cool. You should go check them out. I'm not asking you to do those things. I'm asking you to look at why it is that you're not more awesomer. Now, that is the title of a TED Talk by Michael Neal. Definitely worth a check out. But the cool thing about it was like, the question is, with all of the things that our brain can do, all the technology, all of the advancement in human biology, and all of the things, why is it that you and I still struggle to do the thing that we enjoy doing the thing that we say we want to do? Conditioning, steeped in it. And once we begin to see that, Vidya, we start to see that we are ignorant of who we truly are. It hurts every time I say it, but it's true. I can start to look in the direction of the thing that I actually want. And when people come alive to the things that they actually want in life, life changes. Nothing on the outside might change, but life changes. So it's funny because my daughter, when we were learning to ride bikes, we're still in the process of learning to ride bikes. I'll be riding my scooter next to her, and she's like, Daddy, I'm almost doing it. Daddy, I'm almost doing it. And in the process, I'm thinking, almost doing what? You're riding your bike. What other processes, what other challenges, what other things do you need to overcome to feel like you are riding a bike? And that's you and I as human beings. We are riding the waves of life. We are seeing the ups. We're doing the best with the downs that we possibly can. And we think that we are just almost doing the life thing. We're almost there. But you are doing life. You are moving forward. You are doing the absolute best that you can with the thinking and the conditioning that looks real to you. So the moment that there is a crack, and how do we get that crack? Truth. How do we get truth? We get in a good feeling. We hear something that is true. Not true for me, not true for you, but that is true. And when we get in that good feeling, we feel like we are at home, inside of ourselves. And that feeling of being at home inside of ourselves can guide you. It will guide you exactly where you need to go in exactly the time frame that you need to be there, not a moment before. So if you have been worried or stressed, or if you have been downtrodden and you're wondering when it's going to be your turn to see something different, so I'm reminded of a quote that I read in the Glaciers book by Deborah Liddell, where one of her yogic masters said, "What are you not seeing because of what you are seeing?" And that speaks 100% to how we move and operate as we climb towards our personal summit. Each and every day you wake up is a new opportunity to take a look at not just what you see, but the thing that you are not seeing because of the thing that you are. How do we do that? We become aware. We begin to notice who we are in each and every moment.